What's going on, man?
Not much. Just back here in Bossier City and looking forward to the show we got here in, an hour and 45 minutes or so.
Yeah, here in real quick. We're going to have some fun, man. I'm excited about it. So for people who don't know you, I guess, give us a little backstory on how you got started in music and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man. Kind of an untraditional way, I suppose. I didn't grow up singing in the church choir or anything like that. No one in my family is really musical. My grandpa, he played the trumpet in a jazz band to help put himself through college. But other than that, now, of course, my grandma now, she talks about she was a singer and all this stuff. So now stories start coming to light. Right. But as far as I know,
it was me.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And but anyways, yeah. And so I picked up the guitar when I was 14, and it was actually after seeing a Kenny Chesney concert. My dad actually, for a few years in a row, would get us Kenny Chesney tickets every year when he'd come to Dallas. And one of the years, Eric Church actually opened for Kenny Chesney, and that was kind of back in Eric's real chief days. Yeah. Scraggly hair, the ball cap.
I made one show of his during that time.
Yeah, and it's great.
Amazing.
And that was, my dad was a huge fan at the time, and so we got there early enough to see him. And man, I couldn't tell you what it was, but I just remember watching him and leaving there. And I remember how cool I thought it was watching him, and he had that Gibson Hummingbird and just his whole show. And so I went home and I told my dad that I wanted to take guitar lessons, and I'm pretty sure what he told me was, well, I'm not buying you a guitar. We can rent one because you're going to do this for about a week and never do it again. So, here we are now. But anyways, so he ended up getting me, I think I had a cheap little $150 Yamaha, and I learned on that for a while.
That beat your fingers to death.
Oh, yeah. So I learned on that, and I picked up on it pretty quick after 6 months or so. And then basically that was kind of the end of that. I wouldn't play. I'm super shy at heart. A lot of people don't believe me now when I say that, but at heart I am. And basically my family would ask me all the time, play us your guitar. Singing wasn't even in the picture yet. Yeah. And basically would never do it. And so I guess 5 years later, I think I just turned 19 or about to turn 19, something like that. But I got down to Texas A&M for my freshman year. And basically, I almost didn't even bring a guitar with me because I was like, I've got roommates and I'm not playing in front of anybody and all that stuff. And basically, I ended up bringing a little travel-sized Taylor guitar. And
baby Taylor?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And basically, a girl I was dating at the time, she came over, and my roommate, who was my longtime friend from high school, she came over, and he was trying his best to embarrass me and said, well, Hayden will play you a song. Hayden will sing for you. Hayden will, do this, do that. And basically he went and got the guitar out of my closet, and I was like, I'm not doing it. I turned more red than I probably have ever been for anything in my life and would not do it. And basically after 45 minutes of her pretty much arguing with me about why are you not going to sing for me, and I'm trying to impress this girl. So finally I gave into it and I did it, and without me knowing it, he recorded it and sent it out on social media. And about a month later, I played my first show at a jazz bar on the break of a jazz band, out of all places. And then now just been doing it ever since.
Wow, that's crazy, man. I love that because I'm kind of the same way. Nobody in my family plays music at all. And my dad was a preacher, so growing up playing, I grew up playing in church. Gotcha. And it was kind of one of those deals. I grew up at first playing with cassette tapes and then CDs, and I only started playing guitar because it was too expensive to keep buying CDs for songs I wanted to play. So I started doing that and just kind of taught myself, and similar, I guess, route that way. But dude, that's freaking awesome. So you've only been playing guitars because you just graduated, right?
Right. Well, I'm about to in December. Hope cross our fingers if I pass all my classes. But yeah.
Gotcha. That's awesome.
Should be December.
You've only been playing a few years then.
Right. Yeah. I've been guitar 14, and then pretty much singing. I think I'm really bad at time estimations, but I think I've been doing the whole deal about 4.5 years. So a lot of these dudes that we play shows with and stuff now that have been in the business a long time, they like to say that I've been doing it about 15 minutes.
Yeah,
but, but we've been working our butts off for those 4.5 years.
Yeah,
so.
And I've talked to you and your dad about this, but I can't imagine, because many shows as y'all play too. You playing that many shows, going to school full time, and then doing all of what you do at the same. I can't imagine the workload that is. I mean, that it's crazy. And not just that. I mean, I was talking last week with them Dirty Roses guys. just the driving.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
yeah.
I mean, how much you do a lot of school on the road, I guess, whenever.
Well, yeah, pretty much. And, you know, kind of now towards the end of my school career, some of these required classes, they're a little bit more kind of require you to be in-person type thing.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to dance my way around that. And the main thing is as long as I can get Fridays off, then we're golden. I can make the Thursdays work and all that stuff. We'll just leave later or not book shows on the Thursday or whatever. But obviously Fridays we can't get around, you know, not playing on a Friday. But yeah, definitely I take as many online as I can. And just like I'm about to basically go into summer classes starting, I guess, Tuesday after Memorial Day. Yeah. And I tried to get as many online as I could. I think I've got one in person, but and then I got to do an internship and then I'll be done. But yes, it has definitely been quite the thing to juggle.
So what's your degree in? What do you
So it'll be construction science.
Okay.
So
awesome.
yeah, I pretty much when I went into college, and obviously music, you know, wasn't even a thing yet, but my whole family kind of is in construction. My dad and both my brothers are architect construction stuff. And anyways, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I always entertained the fact that being an anesthesiologist would have been cool, but at the same time, I don't like school, so I don't want to be in school for like 12 years. I kind of put that behind me. But yeah, so I kind of just went into the construction thing because it seemed to be working out for them. And you know, but that was never, I guess, something I had you know, what I knew I really wanted to do. So I'm definitely glad and grateful that the music thing, you know, kind of sparked up.
Yeah, man. So whenever you started, I guess, singing, you started playing your first show, were you just playing, I guess, covers at that time?
Yeah, covers and lots of them. Yeah, I mean, 3-4 hour shows, and
they're the best.
Yeah, no kidding. And but yeah, mainly covers. I think when I played that first show at that jazz bar, I think like the week before, funny enough, out of all people who could have pitched me a song, I guess you could say, my little brother's baseball coach at the time, he, I guess, found out from my family that I had picked up the guitar and sang or whatever, and he goes, well, you're not going to believe this, telling my parents, you know, you're not going to believe this, but I actually write country songs. And he goes, and I can't sing, and I can barely play the guitar, or not very well or something, but he's like, you know, would Hayden be interested in looking at these? And of course, you know, you know, Hayden's never written a song, you know, whatever. So he actually ended up being the writer on a couple. So Leave It All on the Floor on my first record, and then Everywhere I Need to Be.
Really?
He actually wrote most of those, or I think Everywhere I Need to Be we kind of co-wrote.
That's crazy because 9 times out of 10, the friend or family member that's like, oh yeah, I write songs, it's trash. So that's so awesome that you got somebody.
No, it was good, and we took it, and I remember I kind of ran it by just some other people we had met along the way, and we kind of tweaked a few things, but you know, other than that, they ended up working out. But it's crazy because talking about the first show, so Leave It All on the Floor, I think I got to play 4 songs, and I did Leave It All on the Floor, Time Marches On, Head Over Boots, and something else. But anyways, Leave It On the Floor, it's funny because that video, I've been trying to get them to delete it off YouTube forever because and I feel like if you had your little monitor you were talking about, you'd try and pull it up, and I would leave the podcast. But no, it's crazy because, you know, like I didn't know what tempo was on the guitar. I didn't know it. So I was just playing whatever. And, you know, again, at the time, everybody thought it was great. But now being the musician that I think I've grown into today, trying to watch that it's very tough.
And it's so important. We were literally talking about this last week. But all these guys that are just getting started that will come to me and ask questions or advice or anything like that, if they're writing, number one piece of advice, get a metronome, play it to a metronome after you write a song, and make sure it's right before you go take it to any producer, or they're gonna, if they're nice, they'll tell you, but if not, they're just gonna run that rate up for hours. You know?
And, I mean, I know on my first record, my producer, he kind of did the same type of deal. We got in there, and you know, first song, he's like, all right, well, grab your guitar, get in there, play it. And he turned on that click, and I'm like,
what is this?
Is. So I just like, I'm like, well, where's the one? Where's the one? And then I'd start, and he's like, it's not the one. And I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm doing. So anyways, definitely that is the biggest thing. And if you can get on a click, being acoustic, I mean, you don't have to play on a click when you're acoustic, but it helps you, just for different stuff. But if you want to
ever put anything else on it.
But especially a band, especially getting with the band, you've got to be on a click, or at least have really good internal tempo or something.
That's awesome, man. So whenever you decided to put out your first album, was that did you write any of the songs on that? Were you just kind of pitch songs?
No, we. Oh God, you're making me think way back here. I definitely co-wrote. I think at least a few of them.
Yeah.
I think there were 7 on that EP, I guess, and I want to say 4 of them I wrote on.
Awesome.
And then we kind of just had some people start wanting to pitch some stuff, and some really great people that we met along the way. And anyways, it all worked out. There's definitely things looking back now that I didn't know about an album or about songs or anything that now I'm like, oh, we could have done this way differently. But but at the same time with that is, I guess that should also be your goal with new songs or new albums coming out. Each one should get better if you're doing it right, in my opinion. No matter how big you get, I feel like your next album, that's why you're putting it out, right? Because
at least to you, it needs
exactly,
to feel better.
Exactly. And so, anyways, and I feel like we've done that. Obviously, we went from that, put out the Red Dirt Texas record, which did a lot for me, and we've had, I can't even tell you, 4 or 5 singles off that record. Because when me and Trent Willman, my producer, when we did that, I mean, I remember he looked at me when we finished the final song, vocals, everything, and he looked at me and he's like, man, he goes, I'm not just saying this because you're in front of me, but he's like, I don't think I've ever been part of a record that is a 10-song record that every song could be a single. He's like, typically there's filler songs. He goes, I genuinely believe any one of these could be a single. So that's why we ended up pumping so many out from that record. It bought us time to work on new music and write new stuff. And
no doubt. And I was going to bring up Trent next, but so how did that come to pass? You and Trent working together? Did you guys know each other prior? Or
No. So my publicist, Chelsea, she's out of Nashville.
Okay.
And basically, I guess now I'm trying to think. I've known Trent, I guess, over 2 years. So yeah, probably about 2.5, 3 years ago, something like that. I was basically, Chelsea was wanting me to come up to Nashville for my first time. And she was working her butt off to try and get me some rights with some people. And so we had a few set up. And then basically she called me one day and she's like, hey, do you want to write with Trent Willman? And I'm like, you're kidding. Or like, something's not right.
It's here. Like, you want to sing with George Strait?
Yeah, exactly. And so I go, well, of course, and because it was just crazy to me because I've been a Cody Johnson fan since I was 14, 15 years old. I mean, I remember going and seeing Cody with my family at Billy Bob's when he wasn't even packing half the place out. Right. And anyway, so I'd heard, watched a bunch of Cody interviews and stuff, heard all about Trent, and then obviously Fowler, Krager, grew up listening to that kind of stuff, started listening to that stuff and figured out all about Trent. And so anyways, it was just one of those deals where you're like, seriously? And so, of course, we got in the room together, and man, we just kind of had a little spark between us. We got along really well, and we started writing. And we ended up writing Where You Come In off the Red Dirt Texas record, one of my singles. So that was the first song we wrote together. And then we literally wrote that. And before we even left his office to go to lunch, he was like, man, what would you think about me producing your next album? And I'm like, well, yeah. What are you going to say? No? And so anyways, that was pretty much it. And me and Trent, after that, we just started writing our butts off. We did a bunch of co-writes with people that I had no business writing with because these were big old #1 Billboard hit songwriters that had written for everybody and their mother. And I'm sitting in the room with these guys. And so me and Trent, I think we co-wrote like 5 or 6 songs off that record, and we did a few outside songs. And then we did that. That did well. And then now we've just been pounding out, writing some more stuff. He's been sending me a lot of songs, and we've got about half this record finished up right now. I just got to go finish up vocals. So we should have a new record out pretty soon. Obviously, we've been putting out some singles and whatnot. So kind of building it up.
I love it. Anytime I've been around Trent, he does nothing but talk you up. So I know y'all have a great relationship.
We pay him extra for that.
Yeah. But I love the TikTok videos that you do with him, like asking about stories behind the song.
No, that was Miss Chelsea. That was her idea. I guess I didn't realize that was a thing. And me and Trent are trying to figure this out because I'm not a TikTok person. If she can help me out and make content, I'm all for it. But it's just, I don't know. I've never gotten into the platform. And obviously Trent doesn't do TikTok. And so that was out at Trent's house, actually. And she's trying to explain, like, how this is going to look on TikTok. Because while you're trying to film that, it's kind of awkward. And, of course, Trent especially is like, really? This is what we're doing? But, it ended up working out pretty well. So.
Dude, I love it. So whenever y'all started putting out those albums, you did that when – because like last year, y'all played 100+ shows last year, huh? When did you really start hitting the road heavy and, I mean, started traveling a lot?
Man,
and playing a lot of shows?
yeah, I guess, I mean, really from the beginning, we've been doing as many shows as we could, even when it was just me first starting and doing, just me and my guitar and stuff and all the 3 and 4 hour shows. We really would try and play as much as we could, just because, some of the biggest advice I got was play as many shows as you can at the beginning. You may get paid $50, you may get paid $100, you may, and people don't like it, but sometimes people want you to play for free. And anyway, so we were just doing pretty much anybody that would book us. So we'd get mainly stuff in the DFW area, got a few things in College Station, and then a little bit in Houston, but it was mainly just that little run right there. And then I don't know, I guess probably after my first or second single went out to radio, and then pretty much once I got a band together, then we started hitting it pretty hard. And then, I guess probably in the last couple of years we've been probably pushing 150 shows or so.
That's crazy. And that's what blows my mind is you're playing 150 shows, going to school. I mean, heck, most people can't even go to school and stay sober and do.
I always say now I see why most musicians drop out of college if they're still in college. I totally get it, but I've got a family behind me that is like, hey, we will support you 100% in this, but they're like, you get that paper.
So no, I think it's smart, man. It's and now that you're on the tail end of it, I'm sure.
Now
very glad you did.
Hearing that about 2 years into college and trying to do this music thing, that was pretty tough. But now, especially, it's as get a little more mature and stuff, I definitely see why it's.
What do you think is going to change for you? Because I know you, we're buddies. I know your work ethic. What do you think is going to change for you now that you have more free time to devote to your music that's not in school? Are you thinking more shows? Like, what is going to change for you with that time?
Yeah, I think it'll be I know like one of the biggest things I want to do is work on my guitar skills because I'm not very good at the guitar. That's like one of my little things. I'll have more time for that during the week. And then songwriting, I want to try and do the songwriting thing more. And I know the biggest thing, Trent's trying to pull me up, move to Nashville. So we'll probably be up there, living up there. And after that, Trent kind of has this plan for me, a little mapped out roadmap for kind of what he wants me to do. So again, just
if there's anybody that
exactly.
Golly.
And of course, there's no formula to this business, but he's got a pretty good idea of what he thinks could do stuff for me.
He can keep you away from a lot of pitfalls and a lot of
so songwriting and just coming out with new music and promoting these songs. And it's been really great. And I've been very, very lucky that just pretty much every single we've put out, and especially this new group of, I guess, 3 singles now, Better New Memory, or Wind It Down, Better New Memory, and then now this Tequila song. It's been a very steady growth between even just those singles, and we've only been releasing them about a month and a half apart. So, and in my opinion, we still have, I don't know, 4 or 5 songs that could be career changers, as I like to call them, and that might sound cocky or whatever. But seriously, I heard these, and I didn't even write them, but I heard them, and I was like, man, that is good stuff.
If you don't believe in your songs, ain't nobody else that will. You know what I mean? Like I don't perceive that as cocky at all. I think that you definitely should think of your music that way. I mean, if you don't, and then you go to play it to a crowd, and you're like, I want y'all to like it, but I'm not really happy with it. That's an awful idea. It's poor investment.
No kidding.
But no, so the Tequila song, we got some Juan Lobo.
Oh, yeah, we got to crack that open.
Juan Lobo's how I say it, right? So this is Mr. John Wolf's Tequila.
Yeah, so that's John Wolf's Tequila. And so, anyways, I got my fiddle player over there, Zach. He's a big tequila drinker. My dad's a big tequila drinker. And, I wasn't for a while. I was always more into the whiskey thing, bourbon and stuff. And actually my brother, too, is really into tequila. So between them 3, I've started really liking tequila, and then when this song kind of came about, I heard a song. I was pitched this song from Trent, and it was a little acoustic, just him and the guitar. And basically, I told Trent no right off the bat. I was like, my whole thing is not the beachy type thing. I was like, it's just not me. And then I listened to it a few more times, and I said, all right, if we do this right, I think it can be really good. And he goes, well, what do you mean? And I said, I want John Wolf, if we can get him to sing on it. We just started playing some shows with John.
He had already had his tequila brand.
This was not too long ago. John kind of agreed to this.
Last week.
And basically, I said I want John to do it, and Trent, Trent kind of drug his feet on it. I don't know if Trent thought he was really going to go for it. Just John being quite a bit, above me and stuff. And finally, I think it was the last show we had on the books with John, and we were up in his bus drinking his tequila, and we had all had quite a snoot full, if you will. And I said, you know what? I looked over at my drummer. I said, you know what? I'm just going to play it for him. And so I got it out. And I said,
y'all
John
had already had the song written?
Well, so the song was done. I had already done vocals on the whole song.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it was done. And I said, hey, John, will you listen to this real quick and just tell me what you think?
Yeah.
And he listened and goes, dude, I love it. Is that y'all releasing that, or y'all pitching that out? Is this a demo? I go, well, funny enough, I go, how would you feel about being a feature on this with me? And he goes, done. He goes, I love it. And he goes, let me run it by my, management and whatnot. And he goes, we'll get Juan Lobo involved, so on and so forth. And so anyways, a couple weeks later, he went in and cut vocals, and now me and John have a cool relationship going on.
Yeah.
And anyways, and obviously the tequila thing, and the good thing, as I told John, when we shot the music video, we stayed out at Run and Gun Hunting Lodge out in Matagorda.
The video's amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
I loved it. It was awesome.
That's my dude Alejandro. He does a good job. He's done my last 3, I guess. So he does good. But anyways, we stayed out there, and I said, John, it's a good thing that your tequila's good, because I said most celebrity alcohol is crap.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, thank you for that.
No, it is. I mean, there's a ton, and it seems like everybody and their mama's making one now,
Yeah.
That's I'm trying to remember which one was I didn't like. Maybe it was Conor McGregor's.
I don't like that. I'm a huge
Proper
Conor McGregor
12.
fan.
I am too.
Me and Zach had quite the experience on that stuff.
I didn't care for the Proper 12.
No, it's not. And it's like $20 a bottle. So I guess you kind of get what you pay for.
Yeah, I guess so. But no, I haven't tried this yet. So they don't sell us in Louisiana yet.
Right.
It's all over Texas.
So I know he's pushing to get. They're in I think it's 6 states or so. I know they just got into Colorado.
Oh, awesome.
But anyways, mainly in Texas right now. So
awesome. Well, I love tequila. I'm going to try it. This
cheers.
is cheers, brother.
It's not bad. It's pretty smooth.
That is fantastic.
Throw an ice cube in it.
Yeah.
Golden.
Dang.
And ranch waters with these.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So, comparatively, this to like Terramana, the Rock's tequila, this is fantastic.
Oh, well, I guess, okay, the Rock's probably never going to care what I have to say. But, there's been... I've heard the nickname, and I'm not going to say from who, but I've heard the nickname for that is Terrible Mana.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's
Zach
one of the
always buys that stuff. And again, I had to explain to Zach, quit buying the cheapest tequila you can find on the shelf.
I keep seeing all these numbers and stuff, but this is fantastic, dude.
This is really good. And obviously he's still growing the business and everything.
And this is the Reposado.
Yeah, this is the Reposado. The Añejo is probably my favorite, but I like most Añejo tequilas. Yeah. And then the Blanco is obviously good for margaritas and whatnot. And that's actually the Blanco is still good just by itself even.
Yeah.
But it's all good really. And again, as I told John, I'm not just saying that because of the song or our thing. I was like, I'd tell you if I didn't like your tequila.
Dude,
and it's actually good.
So most stores, like retail price, what does this run usually?
So I think if I remember right, I believe John's going to listen to this and be like, quit selling my stuff higher than what it is. But no, I think Blanco is 42, that's 48, and I think the Añejo is like 52.
Okay.
Right? You should know. Yeah, roughly.
Somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that's
not crazy.
No, and it's definitely worth it. I mean, I love it.
And sorry, this has been sitting in the hot van for a little bit. It might be a little warm.
I love it. Okay, so work them. I saw on your Instagram story, were you cooking a brisket?
Oh, yeah.
So, I know you were sponsored by Traeger, and I got a pellet grill about a year ago.
Which one? Do we need to talk about that?
I got a pellet grill about a year ago, and I wish that I would have forked over a couple extra bucks and got a Traeger, because I think it was the first or second time I cooked on it, I nearly caught it on fire. And I'm not a griller by, any stretch of the imagination, but is that always been like a thing for you? You grow up cooking, some kind of just started playing with?
Like my dad was always, he would always grill steaks and do all that stuff. And he has, the fancy, cold smokers and commercial stuff. And, so anyways, he would always do stuff like that. And then my brother kind of got into it. But he was always like a stick burner guy, and then basically when I got to about when I got to college, I just went and bought myself like a little cheap Weber grill, charcoal grill, $30 or whatever. And I just started really loving it and just cooking, I wasn't smoking anything on that obviously, but just cooking chicken all the time or steaks or veggies or whatever it be. Always have friends over and grill. And anyways, and then I guess we played a show in Angleton, I believe, and we just we basically had my Traeger buddy, Simon, his daughter ended up, I guess, being a huge fan of mine. And basically she messaged me and was like, hey, which Traeger do you have? Because I guess I just bought one of their like cheaper models. And she's like, which thing do you have? My dad's actually like this with Traeger, and we're going to come to your show, and he wants to bring you some stuff. And so he showed up with literally a Traeger truck, and he just started throwing me and the guys all kinds of everything, awesome. Traeger, and spices, barbecue sauce, hats, shirts, everything. And then basically I remember Simon, my buddy, he's like, what grill do you want? And I'm like, what? And he's like, which Traeger would you like? And I was like, why does it matter? And he's like, well, I'm going to get it for you. And then I told him, and basically he ended up giving me one. And then when Traeger actually came on and made me like an ambassador or whatever, they ended up sending me like a brand new one. So that awesome. Is mainly that. When I bought that first Traeger, that's when I really started getting into, trying my first brisket. And
that's the thing about it, man. And I, if I would have gotten a Traeger, I feel like I would have pursued cooking a whole lot more on it.
Yeah.
But I bought a cheaper off-brand pellet grill.
Right.
And I see how easy, my buddies that have a Traeger, I see how easy it is for them cooking on. Like you didn't have any cooking experience,
right.
But freaking picture that brisket looked amazing. You know? So it's like,
a lot of people like my brother, which now I gave him my other Traeger, and now that he uses that more than anything else. But before, he's as I said, a big stick burner guy. And so you have a lot of those like traditional dudes. My drummer's one of them.
Purists.
They talk a bunch of crap about the pellet grills because they're like, oh, you're not actually having to cook.
So
you're
easy.
Not controlling the fire. You're not doing this. And I go, yeah, but you'll spend all day sitting in that lawn chair watching that fire.
I can watch it from my phone.
And I'm like, I can watch it from my phone and go do other stuff and be
That's
productive
right.
with my day. So I'm like, what's the issue here? And I'm like, my brisket will come out just as good.
That's right. That's right. Dude, it looked amazing the other day. And that's the reason I wanted to ask you, because I was like, this dude had to be cooking for a long time.
Brisket is like the one thing, was probably the hardest thing to cook, but that is like the one thing I cannot nail down. It'll come out with a smoke ring, it'll come out with good flavor, good bark, everything, but it's like always either dry or just a little bit, not undercooked, but just could have gone a little bit, been more tender. I just cannot find the freaking sweet spot, man. I cannot do it.
It's an art, man.
Yeah,
that stuff is definitely an art. I see guys all the time do these big cooking shows. I'll go on the bus with them, and because they have buses that they or food trucks that they're doing it on, and it is like, Jesus, man, it is another world.
You need to go, once we get done with this, you need to go follow. Do you follow Simon, my Traeger? But you need to go follow him. Just look at some of the stuff he cooks. You'll be amazed.
I definitely will. Well, what do you got coming next? I know, so you're working on a new album right now. These singles that you're releasing now, is that kind of before the album? Will they be on it?
So we've kind of been doing it off the cuff. The original plan was to release a handful of singles. There wasn't really a set number, and then kind of tie that all into a record. And then now that, as I told you, these singles are doing pretty good for us and each time growing and stuff, me and Trent kind of talked and we're like, there's not really a rush for an album. We can keep doing the single thing, and then we could go and record more songs, because I think we've got 11 total recorded right now, so we could get up to 15 and potentially split them up into EPs or just keep doing the single thing. We really haven't decided. So I don't know. So yes, there is a whole record done right now, but we don't know how it's going to go. There is a lot of new music coming. That I can tell you. Yeah.
Well, that's awesome, man. I'm looking forward to it, and definitely loving everything you put out. Is like, it's just one banger after another. And I love seeing the success and the drive. Of course, with us being buddies, I'm following closer than I would a lot of people, but it's just so cool to watch. Bo and I talk about this all the time, and I talk about it on here a lot, is just the hustle of musicians and certain musicians that are going to be successful with how hard they work at it. And that's what I admire, man. So I love it. Keep it up. I'll let you get back and change clothes because you got to be on stage in an hour or so.
There we go.
We'll do that. Shout out to Lou Casey Boots. I know you have a great relationship with them.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
Every time I see you got a new pair of Lou Casey's on, so they all look good. Mark's telling me the other day, he's like, man, he's got to spread the love to the band.
Yeah. Hey, I have, man. I have. You can ask him.
I love it. Well, dude, I appreciate you doing this, man, and appreciate Tequila. This is
Absolutely,
fantastic,
man.
dude.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right, buddy. We'll do it again. We'll have a good time tonight.
Thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Hayden Haddock.